this picture hadn't seemed in sync with the daily news out of Iraq. With a steady frequency, bombs were going off, killing Americans in Baghdad and beyond. And any time the Iraqis announced they would expand training for the Iraqi police or military, those registration drives were being met with gunfire or suicide and car bombers. So, in late 2003, we decided to go to Baghdad and see for ourselves. Had we known Iraq was set to collapse into all-out war, we might not have gone at all. But that's irrelevant now. For the two of us, Red Sox fans to the point of painful cliché, the road to Baghdad started in the South Bronx, more specifically in Section 336 of Yankee Stadium on the night of October 17, 2003, Game 7 of the American League Championship Series, or ALCS. The stadium, as Yankee fans call it, is known as the toilet by Red Sox fans, since, as seen from above, it resembles a giant commode. On this night, the usual antipathy between these two sets of fans was amplified by a tied-up series. Both the Red Sox and the Yankees had won 3 games. After the Red Sox won Game 6 to tie and force a decisive Game 7, the team had their best hope for a World Series in 17 years. Compounding the anticipation, Game 7 was to showcase the greatest postseason pitching duel in decades. Current Red Sox ace Pedro Martinez versus former Red Sox ace Roger Clemens. From New Jersey to Maine, every media outlet hyped Game 7 as more than a mere athletic event. In New York, the headlines read things like Showdown in the Bronx and Do or Die. On that day, across the Northeast Corridor, regular life simply stopped for millions of people, including us. All everyone cared about was the 8:17 p.m. game time. After a few hours of trying, we scored tickets at the last minute. Nothing beats October baseball in the Northeast. The traditional red, white, and blue bunting was unfurled around the mezzanine and box seats. Then the sun slipped from the Bronx sky, and the night grew cold. We could see our breath as Yankee Stadium began to fill, and everybody in the place remained standing as Pedro and Roger walked out of their bullpens to do long toss warm-ups in the outfield. By the time of the national anthem, with its F-16 flyover, we had butterflies in our stomachs, which we were trying to quell with several $7 beers. As we mingled among the New York faithful, it didn't take long for us to start getting harassed by Yankee superfans with their wind-suited, satin-jacketed, bada-bing humor. Hey, Boston, what's Boston ever won? Hey, yo! Life was great. The Red Sox took an early lead, knocking Clems out of the game and holding their edge behind a steady Pedro on the mound. Soon, we became magnets for showers of tri-state saliva and thrown beers, and we were celebrating and high-fiving with any Red Sox fans we could find. Talk was already circulating between us about who would be driving the first leg of the trip to Miami for Game 1 of the 2003 World Series against the Marlins. Sticky Van, our trusted old friend, a classic white Ford F-150 cargo van that we often slept in, only to awaken stuck to the floor, was our ride of choice, as it had been on so many cross-country adventures before. In anticipation of victory, we gathered with our friends and other Red Sox fans on the left field lower deck, where we were provided our own, somewhat abusive, police detail. Then, things went wobbly. Not long after our route to Miami was planned, a hard charge down I-95 as the World Series would start in 2 days, the Yankees rallied to tie the game. And the rest, well, sucks. In the bottom of the 11th, Aaron Boone blasted a game-winning home run into the left field stands only a few yards from us. We didn't even stick around long enough to see Captain Jeets emerge from the Yankee dugout to do his patented victory chop. On our ride home down the FDR, tears were flowing. We were broken. Drowning our sorrows with bourbon at a bar in the East Village, we contemplated our future, or fresh lack thereof. We had no regular jobs, nor were we looking for any. We weren't done with school, and we weren't getting any younger. At about 3 a.m., I turned to Jeff and said, "Bad as this feels, it isn't bad at all. It's an opportunity to make some decisions, make some new plans." I had no plans beyond the World Series. You know I hate thinking ahead. The next afternoon, we woke up in our Brooklyn loft and retreated to our rooftop refuge. Our building's old, unused water tower had been converted by an artist into a sitting area with 2 comfy wooden benches, and it offered the best view of Manhattan for miles. Below us was a major sanitation depot, and the sweet smell of garbage in transit filled the air. A scrawny, crackhead hooker trolled the street below. Despite the benches and the views, at the moment our loft seemed to rank among the most unlivable places in America. The nearby stores were often out of everything that hadn't been canned or bottled by Goya. A 20-minute walk would get you to the nearest health food store. We sat on the roof, nursing our hangovers with a few beers. "Must we endure another painful winter?" Jeff said. "I can't. I have to leave." "New York?" "The whole East Coast, America even. I'm over it. I don't know, maybe go to the Middle East?" It's pretty boring there right now. Jeff liked to live in a place, be it Boston, New York, or California, for a few months only to fail at whatever he was trying to do, and then pack his bags for an international destination. The prior winter, a humbled Jeff had retreated from the city after dropping out of the School of Visual Arts in mid-semester. Now I plan on joining him as a New York failure. "Another retreat, huh? I think I'll be joining you on this one," I said. "Fuck you. The Middle East was my idea." It was common for us to argue about who thought of what first. "Asshole, I've been saying I wanted to go to the Middle East all summer, and you know it." Neither of us spoke. We stared at the endlessly interesting Manhattan skyline. Airplanes were cruising above the city. "I can't believe the Sox lost. Imagine how many shirts we'd have sold and cars we'd have flipped if the World Series was in Boston." "No shit." Since 1999, the Red Sox had provided me with a decent income, not to mention a lot of Jeff's. Back in the summer of '99, I'd been a vendor inside Fenway Park, selling Cokes in the stands during games. That October, the Red Sox had faced the Yankees in their first ever ALCS matchup, when, just hours after the series was set, a friend and I silk-screened the words "Yankees suck" on a white t-shirt in a blue athletic bold font. The night before Game 1, we sold 300 shirts between the hours of 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. to fans camped out at Fenway awaiting the sale of tickets. From that night on, Yankees Suck t-shirts have been sold outside Fenway after every home game, along with later iterations that read things like WWJDD, What Would Johnny Damon Do? Yankees Suck, Jeter Swallows, Jeter Sucks A-Rod, or other similarly pithy phrases we could generate. Beyond all the other t-shirts, though, the Yankees Suck shirts have become, in their way, famous, gaining mention in Sports Illustrated, the New York Times, the New Yorker, and dozens of other national publications. Most games, we had roughly 20 people selling shirts on the sidewalks and street corners around Fenway. Generally, they were old friends or younger brothers of old friends. Work consisted of standing and hawking shirts for an hour after games. The t-shirt operation wasn't a normal business, with profit as the bottom line. For us, the bottom line was fun, with a nightly suck of our gross profit going toward collective good times. The money gave us the freedom to do things like traveling on a whim or attending big playoff games. I'd actually met Jeff in 1996, outside Wetlands, a now shuttered bar and club downtown in New York City, back when I was still in high school. Then I would see him around at music shows up and down the East Coast. Growing up, Jeff mostly lived in the greater Washington, D.C. area, including Arlington and farther south in Richmond, Virginia. When we met, he was living in northwest Washington, D.C., working as a bicycle messenger and playing guitar in a few bands. He picked up his global travel habit with these bands. Touring gave him a chance to see Europe, South America, and the Pacific Rim, plus a good chunk of North America. In 1998, he moved to Boston to make a new start and remove himself from what had become a negative environment, a situation that culminated with a long jail sentence for his best friend and his longtime girlfriend leaving him for a guy who loved penny loafers and had greaser hair. In Boston, he promptly enrolled in, then dropped out of, Northeastern University, where I was also enrolled as a student. College kids in Boston have two major enclaves, the Mission Hill area of Roxbury, near Northeastern, and Lower Alston near Boston University. Neither of these neighborhoods can be described as nice, though the Hill is the slightly more dangerous of the two. I'd moved to Boston as a student from my family's home north of the city in 1997, the year before Jeff arrived permanently. We lived in similar Mission Hill triple-decker apartments. Our circle of friends was drawn from the various colleges in town, as well as from the music scene we'd both grown up in.